Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you are great and fantastic. So is the sound okay? Say yes or wave or write down one. Hello, Miss Fiona. Hello.
Hello, how are you? Oh, can you hear
Is
me?
the sound okay with you?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can listen. Just a minute.
Hello. Oh dear.
I can hear you.
Oh,
You
you
know,
can or can't?
the sound is gone. The sound is not
Okay.
working.
Okay.
Is everything okay with you guys?
Let me change. I'm going to change my headphones. I'm going to change these. Okay. Now?
Yes,
Now? Yeah?
I'm hearing you. Yes.
Yay. Okay. All right. Good stuff. It was my headphones, I think. So,
Okay.
hello.
Do you hear me good? Do you hear me
Yes.
well?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. How are you?
So, just to fix the kids.
Hello. Hello, fantastic Rachel.
Yes.
Luca, hello.
Hello. So, hello everyone. I hope that you are fantastic and great. The teacher Hadjer Gaid, a certified trainer of English language and a teacher of English. Me with the beautiful Miss Fionna, the teacher of English. Could you introduce yourself to them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, hello.
Yes.
My name is Fiona, as Hadjer has already said. Um, I am an ELT teacher. I have taught mainly English as a foreign language, and I have been teaching since 2012, which is when I qualified. Um, I'm still studying. I'm studying applied linguistics and teaching English as a second or other language. So I'm both a student and a teacher at the moment.
Yeah. Best
Yep,
wishes to you.
thank you.
Yeah. Uh, so I'm a teacher too and a self-improving person. I'm always learning about many things. Yeah,
You are
many
very
skills.
passionate. You're like of the other teachers that I have met. Yeah, you're very kind of eager and keen to
Yeah,
improve. I think that's good.
and hardworking person and
Yep.
hardworking one. Yes. So it's pleasure to me to be with me in this life. This life will talk about the importance of English as an international language in these days. So, before talking about this topic, we are gonna to interact with you, my dears. So, could you scale from 1 to 10 your level of English?
Okay. So I'm going to do this as well. I'm going to put my number in the chat
Okay,
box. Um,
yes, you
but
can put
everybody
it in
else
the
doesn't
chat
have
box.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
For yes, 9. That's good. So it's
Yay.
C1 or C2.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it would be assessed. I'm not sure.
Yes, since
C1
you
plus
are
C2. I don't
yes,
know.
yes. Since you are a native speaker.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, that's
8.9. 5. Okay.
good.
Good,
So
good.
for the new ones, sorry, I didn't get what should I do. For the new ones, Could you scale from 1 to 10 your level of English? From 1 to 10, your level of English.
Yeah, put your number in the comment
In the
box.
chat box, yeah, on the comment box.
So
Hello, Jane.
1 is nothing, 5 is in the middle, and 10 is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
What's your level?
1, it is 5, it is the average one.
Oh, okay, 7.
5.
So we've had a 5, a 7, an 8.9. I guess if anyone was a 1 or a 2, they probably wouldn't be listening to us right now. No.
There is
See,
2.
Somebody just said 2, but I know that you're not a 2 because you've understood the question.
Yeah, exactly. You understood the question, so you are 3 or 5. 3, 2, 5. Yes, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yes, they are asking me to speak in Arabic to translate to them what we are doing. So, yes, for the newcomers. السلام عليكم. So, أنا مع الأستاذة فيونا. هي متحدثة أصلية من بريطانيا. نحن سنتحدث حول أهمية اللغة الإنجليزية كلغة عالمية في الوقت الحالي. فقط سألنا سؤال، بإمكانكم أن تضعوا الرقم مستواكم باللغة الإنجليزية من 1 إلى 10. Scale your level of English from 1 to 10. Yes, they said nice to meet you. Nice to see you, Fiona. Quick English. Yes. So بإمكانكم التفاعل بكتابة رقم مستواكم في اللغة الإنجليزية من 1 إلى 10. Yes, scale your level of English from 1 to 10.
Okay.
وعليكم السلام. Could you read Arabic?
Depend. I can some, like I know the letters.
Okay.
I know the letters. So I've lost that message now. I was going to try to see if I could understand that message, but it's disappeared now.
Yes. So it is
Yeah,
Assalamu alaikum.
gone.
It's like hello.
Alaikum assalam.
Oh, good. Yes. That's
Somebody
good.
said 2. Somebody has said 2.
Yes.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Anyone who says less than 4, I don't believe you.
And somebody here said 1, and I don't believe him. He is not 1. He is average 5 or 6 or 7. I know him very well. Yeah.
It's interesting how we always have a tendency to think that our level is lower than it is, you know? I think that's very common.
It's kind of humbling.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the average is what, like 6 maybe?
Yeah. So I think let's get started without any further delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the topic of the live is the importance of English as an international language at these days. So how is or what is the importance of English nowadays?
Yeah. So, wow, where to start? So this question actually, I'll try.
Too general.
It's well, I mean, it's a really good question, but there's just so much that I could say on it. So I'm going to condense my answer. And I think thinking about my students, so I said that I've been teaching for almost 10 years now, and thinking about most of my students, both online and also my students I was in Spain teaching for 6 years as well, and most of my students there, the most common reasons why they learn English, there are four. Somebody said sorry, I got confused there. Okay, so the first reason is to study abroad, or like in an international institute, sometimes the educational system in a country will require you to learn English, even if you're not going to an English speaking country. So education is one reason why a lot of students, in my experience, have wanted to learn. To find work abroad, or in another country, not necessarily an English speaking country, but any other country, or to find work online in an international company.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah.
Or similarly, to increase their opportunities in their current job as well, or maybe expand to reach clients or customers in other countries.
Yeah.
So to do business, basically. And the fourth reason is just for interest. And I have an interesting statistic for you. So when we're talking about that smaller group of people who want to learn English, not because they need it, but because they want to, is a smaller group.
Yes, there is a small group of people who want to learn English language just for prestigious appearance, just for prestige. I learn English, so I speak English, I can communicate with others in English, I can use many words and terms in English. So it's kind of prestige for them. It's as interest, it's a highly interest for them, and yes. And there is many reasons also for the English, because since it is the global language in this world, yes, it's used in the business field, financial fields also. It has been the language of trade, science, technology, and the social media. The media is basically, we can say, created in English.
And yes, that's what I was going to say, actually. Yes, so I'm glad you mentioned that. So thinking about the internet, so like people who, like you said, are maybe, somebody just said, teach Arabic first, make that the language. And yeah, there are, of course, reasons why English has become an international language. And I think that we just do not have time to discuss that today, but it's good to be aware that it is also a colonial language as well as an international language. But thinking about like the internet and social media, most of the information you find on the internet is still in English. Actually, just over 25% of information on the internet is in English. In fact, the top 4 languages are English at 25%, the Chinese languages, Mandarin, I suppose, at 19%, 7.9% Spanish, and 5.2% Arabic. So, if to
English,
research,
then so English, then Chinese, then Spanish, then Arabic.
Yeah. But English and Chinese are up there. They're
international.
So yeah, which is interesting. So it's, if you want to kind of, I guess, broaden those horizons and learn more and access more of the world, then it is, I was going to say essential, it's preferable to know English, to understand English.
Tremendously important. Yeah. So here, Mr. Luca Pitari said, in my opinion, learn English give us the possibility to feel included in all activities. Absolutely
Likewise.
true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. I think sometimes it can feel, I mean, that is a good example when we talk about the internet, for example. You know, a lot of services, a lot of, you know, international companies now, it's all done in English. So yeah, to feel like you have the same opportunities as others, to feel included, English is important. I will mention though, just on this topic, that English in at the moment is the only international language. So what I mean by that is, if you define an international language as something that is culturally neutral, so it's not attached to one particular culture, the ownership of that language has kind of become nationalized. The number of non-native English speakers far outnumbers the number of native speakers. And there are other ways that we can define it as well. But looking at those primarily, English is the only international language at the moment, mainly because of that difference between native speakers and non-native English speakers. The latter is huge. You know.
Exactly. There is a statistic said that 1 out 5 person in this world can speak English.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good number, and it's interesting that the majority of this world can speak English. It's not majority, but it's a big number. It's something significant.
Yeah, definitely. That's 1 in 4. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Yes. Omar said, be sure that the day will come and the Arabic language will become number one in this world. Yes, and we are proud of our language, which is Arabic. It's a language like the sea, we can say here in Arabic. اللغة العربية كالبحر. Okay, we can say it's a good language and rich with many vocabularies, rich with many poetry and many things that can make her significant. The Arabic language, and we are proud of. Yes, returning back to English language. Yes, just I want to add something, which is English language is so important for the job seeker. Yes. For example, when I want a job, I will write my email in English, my CV, my cover letter, everything in English. So it is so important for everyone who seeks a job or seeks a promotion or something upgraded in his job. So the English language is a good option for everyone who wants to be in higher level.
Yeah. How is it in like where you are? Because I remember when I was living in Spain, that even if people wanted to work in a Spanish company in Spain, they still needed to speak English. Is that the same where you are?
Yes. Here in Algeria, we have the French language is the second language after Arabic. Then we have the English language. But in the sooner, inshallah, English will be the second language here, and everything will be in English for seeking a job, for getting everything, or for example, for we can say reserving hotel or anything like this, or accommodation. Everything will be in English.
Interesting. Yes. Okay.
Yes. For the new ones who want to speak in Arabic, I will just translate what we have said. Okay? I will translate to them. Good. So, yes. مرحبا بالجميع. نحن الآن نتحدث على أهمية اللغة الإنجليزية في العالم. معي أنا ومع الأستاذة فيونا. هي متحدثة أصلية من بريطانيا وأستاذة لغة إنجليزية. نحن نتشارك في هذا الموضوع حول أهمية اللغة الإنجليزية وما علاقتها بالنشاطات اليومية وبالأمور التي يمكن أن تخدمنا بها اللغة الإنجليزية. So, if you have إذا كان عندكم أي شيء تريدون إضافته أو أي سؤال أو أي معلومة للإضافة, just comment below. اكتبوا لنا تعليق أسفل الشاشة. So, good.
Good. Great. Okay. Yeah. If you have any questions, yeah, please do put them in the comments, and we will see. We'll get to them. So, regards English as an international language, yeah, I mean, we could talk for days on this, but I find it really interesting as a subject, especially because the English language teaching industry is so, has this idea of English being a thing of the British or a thing of American English speakers. And quite often we're talking about things like idioms and phrasal verbs and colloquial expressions and accents. And actually, if you consider that English is an international language, none of those things are relevant at all. It's not relevant to have an accent that is similar to somebody who speaks like a native speaker. It's not really relevant to learn which are specific to one geographical area either. So for me, it's a really weird situation. We have this, beautiful situation where we have a language by which we can all communicate with each other, but also this small kind of, culture or a couple of cultures which are trying to kind of claim the whole thing as their own. It's interesting.
So the accent is not important. The pronunciation is the most important thing in English, I think. The pronunciation, yes, the clear pronunciation, yes. When someone enunciates the English very well, or his message or her message will be transmitted clearly and without any ambiguity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you can communicate the message, if you can understand, that's the objective. So yes, pronunciation
the accent is not important.
I don't think so, especially if we're talking about international language, international English as an international language. No, the accent is not important as long as you're communicating clearly.
Good. There is a question here, which is, should we know English like native English speakers to be qualified enough to teach English? How much should we know when we will be qualified?
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I will. Shall I answer that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The question is
okay. So, I think, especially now, I think it's important for English teachers to have some training. So I think in terms of when will you be qualified to teach English, when you have finished your training, essentially, when you have got that qualification. But I think maybe the question is more like, when do you feel qualified enough, right? So when do you feel like you're good enough, I guess, to teach English? And I think, to be honest, the only way you're going to get better at it is by doing it.
Just doing it.
Yeah, when I started, I literally planned for a 1 hour class. I would be class planning for about 3 hours. And I think, I learned a lot from doing that. I would learn more about the subject, about the grammar I was teaching, about how to manage my classroom. So, I think the first few years of teaching, you kind of go from not feeling prepared to feeling better, to feeling okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to be, I'm talking once you have your official qualification, you're never
When
going
you
to feel ready unless you teach.
So when you finish your graduation or your training, you will be ready for teaching others.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You might not feel it, but you are. Trust
and
me.
you, yes, and you have to feel that you are ready to be a teacher.
I do. I mean, how were you? How did you feel? Because I didn't feel ready at all. You know, for a few years, I every time before a class, I would feel like, oh God, you know, I would feel
Anxiety.
terrified.
Yes.
You know, it just takes time, I think, to get used to that. But how was it for you?
For me, the same feeling. The
Yeah.
same feeling for you a few years ago. Yes, there is anxiety, there is a stress, but day after day, overcoming this thing.
Yeah, exactly. It gets better. It gets easier.
Yes, it gets
Trust me.
easier. It's by training. It's by training and by practicing a lot teaching.
Mm. Yeah, and actively learning, you know, you don't stop learning when you've got your qualification either. You know, you learn through the
Yeah.
research you do, through the training and the, you know, self
Yes,
self
and
I was going to say professional development.
yes, teaching English is a long life process. It's
Exactly.
never
Yeah.
It's a long journey,
Yeah.
and being fluent also is a life journey. Never stop.
Mm. I will say though that I think if you have learnt English, so if English isn't your first language, but you have learnt it to a
Yeah,
level where you know you can communicate well, then you kind of know how to teach it because you know how to learn it. Um, you know, so
yeah,
that's a big part. You know, if you didn't grow up speaking English and you had to learn it, then you have a big advantage there. So
yeah, exactly. Yes.
good.
Can I ask one question? Yes, you can, Mr. His how? Hisham. Yes, you can. You can ask a question or question.
I can't see the comments for some reason. No, I don't know why.
There is many comments here. They are
Yeah,
saying hello. They are talking about learning English.
I don't know why I can't see it. Meh. What are the questions?
Okay, there is someone said that Ireland. Hi, Mr. Ireland. I have created a page for teaching English, but I'm stressed extremely. I don't see myself qualified.
Okay. Um,
It's a matter of feeling.
yeah, I mean, again, I don't think you're not going to feel qualified until you have been doing it for some time. And even then, you might not feel qualified enough because you always ever, you know, you just know a little bit. Um, and then you can see that there's more that you don't know. But then every time you take a step up and you learn more, there's still that layer that you don't know. So you can
Yeah,
always see that there's more to learn. Um, so yeah, I would just maybe try to identify what it is that you feel you are lacking, what you feel you are missing, and just you know try to study it, try to learn it. Um, you know,
try
if you
to
feel like
practice.
yeah, if you feel like maybe your grammar knowledge is weak or you're not maybe you're just not very good at writing blog posts, for example, you struggle to communicate, you know, just try to put extra work into those areas. But
Yeah,
I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure you can do it.
yes.
Just don't stress.
You have to go the extra miles. You can say is an idiom. You have to
Exactly.
go the extra miles. You have to make many efforts on what you need. For example, there is a weak pronunciation. You have to work on your pronunciation or grammar. or vocabulary or any aspect in English, the fundamentals of English, you have to work, and you have, after identifying it, okay, after identifying the gap, you have to work to fill this gap and to make your needs good and full.
And I think, something you mentioned actually when we last spoke was about kind of developing as a teacher. And, self-reflective practice is something that we all need to do, however long we have been teaching as well. When you are teaching, especially if you're feeling stressed and anxious, like you're saying you are, I'm speaking to the person who made that comment. Reflect on what you did in your class. What did you do well, and what did you feel like you couldn't do, and why couldn't you do it? And
and you
train in those areas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you about the training in general.
Oh, you're back.
I think it's a matter of connection.
Okay.
Well, good. So,
perfect.
Okay. What's your opinion? I would repeat my question. What's your opinion about training? It's another thing. It's not teaching. They are not the same. There is a training and there is a teaching. So, could you talk about this thing? If you have any idea about it.
You mean like the difference between an English teacher and an English trainer?
Yes,
Is that
exactly.
what? Yeah.
Because I'm a novice. I'm a novice trainer, you know? Yes. And I'm trying to be a good trainer in English.
I think, to be honest, you're probably more qualified to answer this than I am.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I would just say that here we don't really have this definition. We talk about English teachers and perhaps English coaches, which is maybe a similar kind of, a comparable situation. And a teacher, an English coach will be somebody who really encourages their student to do their own learning, and kind of guides their student rather than actually teaches them the language. So a teacher will be the one who presents, new forms, new grammar, etc. And the coach will be the one who kind of guides a student to do the right practice and the right self-study. So I don't know, but yeah, we don't really have this idea here of trainer and teacher. So you're better to answer this question than me.
Okay. I have just one point, that the teaching is based on presenting, you can say, lessons, presenting information as a traditional way. Yes, it's just presenting information. But the trainer is attempting to increase the knowledge and the skills of the learner. For example, doing many activities, doing many trainings to make him or her better in pronunciation, for example, or in writing. It's full of activities. The training is full of activities. You listen from them more than you present as a teacher or as a trainer.
Okay.
That's it. And you listen to them, you note their needs analysis, or you analyze their needs, you can say. Then you fill that gap. Exactly.
Okay.
Did you get
Okay.
it? But
yeah, so that sounds similar to like a coach.
Yes. Teaching is basically you can say based on presenting the lessons, or just giving them lessons in chunks.
Okay, yeah, same. Interesting.
Yes. So there is a comment here. Does listening to some online bridge teachers, YouTubers give you bridge accents, or there is another tips for?
Okay. I mean, just listening will not give you an accent. So unless you are actively listening, unless you are doing activities and practicing with the listening material. So if you're listening to a YouTube video, which is the example that you have given, and you're kind of shadowing, you're repeating the language, replaying it, really concentrating on pronunciation, repeating the sounds that you hear as much as possible. Then that will help you with your pronunciation for sure. And it will also help with your comprehension, as your listening comprehension as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess with that, depending on, if you're always doing your listening activities with speakers who have the same accent, then probably you will learn how to pronounce according to that particular accent. Yes. I wouldn't advise that. I don't think that's best practice, because I don't think that prepares you for encountering people who don't have that accent. But
Yeah. So for getting a good pronunciation or a good accent, you have to listen, repeat, and practice. These three things: listen, repeat, and practice to get the
yeah,
rich accent. Okay.
yeah, to improve your pronunciation, and don't forget as well that on YouTube you have the option to slow the speed of the videos. So something that's quite useful is to start slow. If you're going to do this sort of shadowing activity of repeating, start with a slow speed and gradually increase the speed of the video.
Yeah, and there is the caption in the video in YouTube is the new option in YouTube. Yes, it can be helpful. Yes.
Yeah, also, yeah.
It can be helpful for shadowing and repeating. Reading with listening is a good option on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say though, sometimes the subtitles, especially if they're automatic, are not always accurate. So be a
Correct.
little bit careful.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. The automatic caption is not accurate, but the captions that are we can say poured in from the one who make the video will be accurate. Yes.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
hand. Yes. The handy photo can say.
The
Handy input.
the input.
Yeah. I mean the caption or the subtitles that are put by the owner of the video.
Okay. Yeah. I understand you. Yeah, absolutely. You would hope.
Yes, it would help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good willing, technofine, health, and lasting happiness. I'm at work and I'm looking forward to be with you in life. All work next time. Good willing. So someone is helping to join us in life, in our life. Is Hisham Dia, Mr. Hisham
Oh,
Dia.
thank you. I think, yeah, health and lasting happiness. I'm at work. Oh, you're at work. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining.
Yes. Maybe the next time, Sam.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go to the second point without any further delay, which is, as teachers, how can we help our learners to get motivated or to be motivated to learn English language?
Okay.
How can we motivate them to make them eager?
Yeah, well, I mean,
thrilled.
I would be super interested in hearing your opinion on this as well, because we have different students. I teach adults. Um, to be honest, I think a lot of the responsibility for motivation is on the student, not just on the teacher.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, so remember your objectives. Remember why you're learning. That's a big one. Um, so we can help you with these things, but essentially your motivation and your discipline are your responsibility, not your teachers. But I would say, yeah, just remember your objectives. Like set reasonable goals as well, so that you can actually kind of monitor your success and also celebrate your success. Because if you don't have these milestones along your journey, then how are you going to realize that you have improved? You know, I think that's why it's always a good idea to record yourself as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so when you're doing activities like the shadowing that we mentioned before, record yourself doing those activities, keep those voice notes, keep your notes in your notepad, and every so often make a habit of looking back and seeing what your level before compared to your level now.
As now, yeah,
Um, and
exactly.
I think be realistic with yourself as well, because when you're learning a language, your progress isn't like that. We always expect that you just get better and better and better and better until you're perfect and that's it. It's not like that. It's more like up and down like this. You'll
Yeah,
have days when you're really good and days when you're terrible. And that's completely normal.
you,
So,
yes, you will
yeah,
gradually to get better English, to get the perfect English, gradually growing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, just be patient with yourself, be consistent, be disciplined with your study, and make sure to celebrate your successes and,
oh, yeah. Celebrate the small things, even the small things. You have to celebrate it. Yeah,
yeah,
because I just always say to my students or to my learners, uh, start by the small things. The small things will be great things in the future. So, so you should celebrate the small things when you learn it, when you get it perfectly, because that's the beginning of a huge success.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, just a little, like, I'll give you an example. I had a student, I won't say his name,
yeah,
a
okay.
student recently, just in the last couple of weeks, who was making the mistake of using it instead of is. So getting those two kind of mixed up, and quite often using the contraction instead of just the to be verb. Um, and we talked about it, and I said, okay, let's focus on that. Focus on this thing. Just don't worry about anything else for the next week. Just focus on this one thing. Um, and he did it. He did it. And now, when I hear messages from him, when I see his writing, I'm like, oh, yeah, well done. Well done. Because it's like, it's a little thing, but you've learnt that, and now that's added to all of your skills here in English. You've added something to that, and you're continuing
Yeah.
now to build. I think those things
The,
should
the
be.
smallest, the smallest things are the deepest things.
Yeah,
Okay, the smallest things are the deepest. So
yeah,
you have to celebrate your even small things because it is the starting of the huge success of the future. Okay,
exactly. Yeah,
after following, yes. So we have to work on the internal motivation of learners. The internal
yeah,
motivation, yes. This term it means we motivate them that is the English, as you have said, that is their discipline, their goal, and it is the tool that can make them or lead them to their achievement, the future achievement. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
uh,
and remember what those what those objectives are. When you say future achievements, keep that in your mind. If you're learning English to get a better job or to live in a different country, keep that image in your mind. You will get there. Don't forget that.
Yes, you have to clear out your vision, your destination. Picture your destination, and
Exactly.
everything will be easy.
Well, yeah.
After working, after working and making efforts. Good. So, what do you think about the strategies that can learners do by themselves? Strategies and methods.
Okay. Well, so there are lots, obviously, depending on which skill you're talking about. So, for example, with listening, we talked before about shadowing, which is this kind of listening to a fragment, a segment of speech and repeating, recording yourself doing that and comparing your own speech to the original. And noticing where you need to improve. This is something you can do completely on your own. You don't need a teacher for this. Make sure to actively listen as much as possible with your listening as well. So don't just kind of listen to the radio, but listen to, for example, videos which have a transcript or subtitles, and pay attention to the written language as well as the spoken language. If you're just watching a video once and that's it, then you're not doing listening properly. You should be stopping, replaying, slowing the speed, interacting with that resource to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. For speaking, I would say speaking is the best thing you can do. Even if it's to yourself, even if you're just reading a book and you're speaking aloud the words you're reading, even that is a good activity. All the time that you're producing language, that you're verbally producing words and sounds, will help you. Because a lot of when we're talking about pronunciation and speaking, it's the actual muscles, the shapes that you're making with your mouth as well. It's not just knowing it. So speaking as much as possible. Exactly. Yeah.
Train your speech organs when you produce English, when you talk English, when you are shadowing, as we have said.
Yep, anytime. Even like if you're just reading a book, read it aloud, Yeah. You might need to read it twice. But, yeah.
Yes, about books, I don't agree about books, because books are something painful for the beginners. Yes, it's just short stories. I prefer short stories or little articles, we can say. Yes, are better than books, whole books, because it will be something make them boring, make them hate English in one way.
I think you raise a really good point there. And I think even with books, with films, with TV series, if you're listening or reading something which is too difficult, then you're going to end up hating it. Exactly as you said. I think it's really important to be aware of your level. Like Hadjer asked you at the beginning, what number is your level? Be aware of that, keep that in your mind, and make sure that you're using resources which match your level. Because if you're reading something which is much, much, much too difficult for you, you're going to lose motivation because you're not going to be understanding it.
And the motivation is the most important thing in the learning process. The motivation is we can say the genuine of this of the learning process. Yeah.
Yeah, motivation and discipline, I think. Yeah, and consistency.
Oh yeah. And what about sustainability?
Which one, sorry? The
Sustainability. It's the sustainability. It means always following the make your English in your routine. That's
yes,
it.
yeah,
Always learn English, listen to English, speak with yourself, read in English, try everything English. Okay, everything make it in English. This will facilitate to you to learn more and to love the subject, to love the language.
yeah. That's important. It's important that you find a way to enjoy it, I think.
Oh yeah, something fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because otherwise, it's like you said earlier, it's a lifelong thing. It's not going to just stop after a few years. So learn to
Never
enjoy it.
stop. Until now, I'm finding new words, new vocabularies, new expressions, and the new idioms I never have seen before. We are teachers and we are learning. Till now, we are learning English.
Yeah,
But for the beginners, they should focus on the basics. How can they construct a sentence, for example? How can pronounce well sentence and well word, pronounce well, and practice, a lot of practice. They
absolutely.
can
Yeah,
do
practice it.
teamwork. They can do teamwork, yes, or working on pairs, talking pairs.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, outside of the classroom, if you can find somebody else to speak with, then even better, on something like italki or some other, if you can find a WhatsApp group or
Okay.
something, yeah, just find people to practice with. They don't have to be native speakers, just anyone who will speak English with you.
Yeah. Anyone who can motivate you.
Yeah,
Who can
also, yeah.
exchange with you. Yeah. Um, so talking about the methods and strategies, there are also many strategies for memorizing vocabularies in our mind. For example, like writing down notes and repeating the words many times, repeating the words and making the word in sentence that make your English good and better. And also for memorizing words, we can draw in the meaning of this word. For example, kid, we can draw a kid. That thing may help us to memorize this word, this term, to get a good package of vocabulary.
Yep. I don't have anything to add to that. I think all of that is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding learning vocabulary, exactly as you've said, the more you can interact with the new words, the better. So yeah, try to use pictures, flashcards. I love flashcards, but they don't always just have to be, the English on one, the Arabic on the other. You can draw pictures to remind you of the word as well. And exactly as you said, sentences, using sentences, and again, it's another excuse to produce that language, like say those sentences aloud as much as possible. Yeah, I completely agree.
Good. Yes. So we are gradually running to the end. Okay. If you have any questions, just make it in the chat box, or you can comment below. If you have any questions, anything you want to add before doing a small challenge for you.
Oh, I forgot about the challenge. Yeah. Okay. So there are a few questions. So Keshav, I think, says it's from India. How to learn fluent English. So I hope that the tips that we've given you today are helpful. I hope. And somebody said, is movies with subtitles good for learning or listening to podcasts? Both. I think the main thing with listening and reading is that you enjoy the material and that it is at the right level. So whether that's a podcast, movie, series, short stories, as you said, as long as it's the right level and you genuinely enjoy it, those are the two most important things.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go to the last point in our life.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that?
Challenge of tongue twister.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something
Okay.
funny.
So
Yeah.
I have one for you, which is, I'm going to type it in here. So.
Okay, hi, Mr. Luca. He is Italian, and it's a pleasure to me to know him in your class, conversational class. Luca Pizzeri.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Luca is a student. Hello.
Hello, Luca. So see you very soon in our weekly conversational class. I hope I will. Yeah.
And I will too. Okay, this is your tongue twister. So I will say it. Oh my gosh, I got it wrong. She sells seashells on the seashore. And more quickly, she sells seashells on the seashore.
Okay, it is she sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. 3 times quickly.
Perfect. That was much better than me. Well done. Well done. Okay, and you've got one from me, right? Which I'm very scared about.
So, could you repeat it 3 times ago? Another one.
Another English one.
Another English one, yeah.
Okay, so what about what's the one that I found earlier? So Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but she said, "This butter's bitter."
Oh yeah, perfect. Yes.
So more quickly, Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but she said, "This butter's bitter."
Oh wow. Yes.
Do you want me to write it?
Yes, write it firstly. Did you write
hold
it?
On. Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but she said, "This butter's bitter." Sorry about my punctuation. So Betty Botter bought a bit of butter, but she said, "This butter's bitter."
Wow, that's perfect. Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said this butter is bitter.
Nice.
Good.
Well done.
So I will repeat it again. Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said this butter is bitter.
Okay, more quickly. Do it more quickly.
Okay. Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said this butter is bitter.
Well done. You're very good at this. You're very good at these.
Yeah. So if you have any Arabic for my dear followers, if you have any Arabic tongue twister, you can put it down in the comment. إذا كان عندكم جملة بالعربية نقدر نقولها الأستاذة فيونا to make challenge, yes, in Arabic. إذا كان عندكم كلمة بالعربية أو جملة بالعربية فيها tongue twister يعني كما نقولوا كلمات متشابهة تقولها الأستاذة باللغة العربية بسرعة. It's a kind of challenge.
Yeah.
Is there any suggestion here?
I'm hoping not. I hope nobody sends anything. So what was the one you gave me one earlier, right? It was, I have it here, like
Yeah, you
khit.
could write. Is
Okay.
خيط حرير فوق
Oh,
حيط خليل.
again?
خيط حرير فوق حيط خليل.
Okay. خيط حرير قو قوت
فوق حيط خليل.
قوت خير حليل.
Okay, Muna, yes, Muna, she wrote it. She wrote it in the comment. خيط حرير فوق حيط خليل. خيط حرير فوق حيط خليل. خيط حرير
Okay.
فوق حيط خليل. Like this.
Thank you.
Repeat it 3 times again. Okay.
Well done. Okay. So, oh, where's it gone? خيط حرير فوق خيط خليل. Is that
Good.
right? Okay,
But-
that's
but-
literally the fastest I can do it.
You did it slowly.
Okay. خد حليل فوت خيط حليل.
You
Okay.
make it another one. You shape another sentence, you know?
Okay, one more time.
Yes. Okay.
I don't even know what this means. But خد حليل فوت خيط خليل.
Good. I like the last one. So, what does it mean in English?
Okay.
خيط حرير فوق حيط خليل. It means a silk thread. You know, silk thread is on the wall of Khalil. Khalil is a man, the name of man. A silk thread on the wall of Khalil.
Okay. It's all right.
Okay, get it?
I'll keep practicing.
Good. In Arabic, we have the letter kha, and ba. It's a little bit difficult for you as an English speaker.
Yeah.
Ba and kha. And we have ta. You can say ta. 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 Yes. And da. Da. Yes. The Arabic language is the language of da, because da is the special letter in our Arabic language. You know?
Yep. Yeah. The kha, I think, is in Spanish as well. So I think we're more used to that
yes.
one.
Yes. Kha, there is in Spanish.
Yeah, but the other ba.
For example. Jorge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you win the tongue twisters challenge.
Oh. I'm the winner.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, any other questions before we go?
Are you learning Arabic, teacher? No, we are talking about a topic which is the importance of English. But at the end of the life, we did a challenge, me with teacher Fionna, and it's a funny challenge in Arabic and in English.
Yep. It's just to make you laugh.
Yeah. Thanks. Where are you from, Gaid? I'm Hadjer from Algeria.
Hello, and I'm Fionna from England. Morocco. Hello, Morocco.
Hello, Morocco.
Okay.
Me too, I could speak in English. Good.
Well, it's been really, really nice to kind of meet your followers as well and to kind of see some new names in the comments and, you know, hear your experience of things. And
Yes. And that's
yeah.
supporting.
And
That's supporting when you see new comments, new names.
yeah. Yeah. And it's lovely. It's lovely to kind of, yeah, hear all the different points of view as well and different comments in the chat box. And for yourself as well, Hadjer, it's been really nice to kind of see somebody who is really passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. I don't know. I think that's it. I don't think there are any more questions.
Yes, there is no question any so far.
Okay. I saw a kitten eating. Oh my gosh. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen.
Yeah,
That's a good tongue twister.
I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen.
Hadjer, you're really good at this. I'm rubbish. I am rubbish at this.
Because I'm the winner.
Yeah, definitely, by a long way. Well, I think that's it. I don't think there's any more. So, anything else? Anything else before we finish? Because I don't want to keep people on here for a long time.
Yeah.
Anything else we've forgotten to say? Can you remember?
Now we have done everything. We have talking about everything, I think. It's a pleasure to me to speak with you, Miss Fiona. And thank you for your coming. Thank you for joining me in this live. Thank you for reaching this live with your knowledge and your expertise. And I'm so glad and delightful to be with you in this live.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure, really. And as I said before, it's nice to kind of see that you have this passion for teaching and yeah, it's really nice to get to know you a bit better as well and your followers. So thank you. It's been a pleasure.
So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. A happy Sunday. Have a good rest of your day, everybody, wherever you are, and a good week.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.